My thoughts on Mike O'Hearn. Well, I'm doing this while I'm cooking meat and separating grapes from the vine. Truthfully, ironically, that's not a metaphor. That just is what I'm doing right now. I don't know how good the audio is going to be because I'm standing up. But anyway, let's talk about Mike O'Hearn. Mike O'Hearn is a double-edged sword. I will say it's going to be impossible for me to make this video without judging him. You know, as a Christian, we're not supposed to judge. I get it. It is what it is. You know, we're talking crap. This isn't godly. I get it, right? Okay, moving on. Mike O'Hearn. Mike O'Hearn's a double-edged sword. I like Mike O'Hearn. There's things I like about Mike O'Hearn, and there's things that are like cringy and weird about Mike O'Hearn, right? Again, he's put himself in a position where if you criticize him, you're a hater, right? And this is what the best narcissists do. The best narcissists know how to use their haters, use their detractors or people who criticize them, because criticizing and hating are not quite the same thing, right? But Mike O'Hearn is really good at jujitsuing, even though he's not a martial artist. That's fake. Jujitsuing their critics into turning them into like haters, and he's so successful and they're just mad because he's not. Look, the real reality is this guy's not normal. So for him to like purport himself like, well, I'm achievable, you know, you're just not working hard enough because you're just a hater. That's the whole shtick that plays into the whole thing. Like, you are a phony because your body's not real. It's not genuine. It's not built out of hard work like you think it is, because steroids help you recover. Steroids help you build muscle 10, 50, 100 times, I don't know the exact amount, more than the normal guy, right? I've never taken steroids in my life. I've lifted my entire life. I look okay, you know, but I don't look like Mike O'Hearn, and neither do other naturals. Neither do other people who are natural. Mike O'Hearn is not natural. Everybody knows it, and Mike O'Hearn knows that everybody knows it, and he's using it as fuel to make himself rich, and he's laughing all the way to the bank. That's the truth about Mike O'Hearn, right? Now, when I say he's a double-edged sword, he's got some good advice. He knows his way around a gym, and he's got decent advice, and you can learn some things from him. But let's not pretend like the guy's not a narcissist. Let's not pretend like, you know, he's this hero or he's this respectable guy. People are so weak, man. I see it in the comments. Hey, man, you're killing it. Yeah, Michael O'Hearn, respect. You know, it's just like, all right, you know, like, let's keep things in perspective, right? No, I give him props for being smart enough to use his illusion, to quote a Guns N' Roses album from the 80s or the early 90s, use your illusion, right? He's used his illusion that he's this natty, buff, karate guy, and everybody knows it. And then he leaned into it when he realized, oh, what's making me even more famous is that people know I'm not a real natty. So I'm going to lean into it. I'm going to troll people. And that's kind of where I'm like, dude, you're kind of getting into that disgusting, childish, immature, weirdo kind of vibe to me, is when you do that. It's like, dude, come on. You know that we know. And it's like, it's this big joke. And he's got this smirk on his face every time he makes a video, because he knows, we knows. And it's, you know, and it's just, it's cringy. It's like, come on, guy. And I'll just say this, like, if your, you know, legacy that you leave to your child is that you lied about your status your entire life, that's the legacy that you're leaving to your child, is that you lied. You're a liar, right? Your entire life you lied, and I guess it made you rich, so maybe you could justify it that, you know, from that angle. But to me, it's like, what's, you know, is it worth it? I don't know. You know, leave my son $1 million because I lied, or be honest and leave him morals, you know? I don't know, you know, but Narcissists tend to raise narcissists, so, you know, his son probably won't even care. You know, nepotism, rich kids, they don't care. They don't care how their parents made their money. They just care that they're rich, you know. Hopefully, you know, again, I'm not trying to just sit here and judge the guy or bash him. I appreciate the fact that he's got a family. He's got some traditional values. He's probably a Christian. I appreciate all that. That's nice, you know. But at some point, what are you, like 60 almost, Mike? You're 52 or something? Come on, man. At some point, you're going to have to be like, yeah, I lied, you know. It was, you know, I got enough money now. It's fine. Of course I'm on steroids. Of course. Or maybe that's just it. Maybe he just thinks, well, yeah, everybody knows, I know, so why even say it at this point? And he's just loving it. He's just trolling. Cool, man. All right, cool. But one thing that pisses me off, and this is really kind of the reason that I'm making this video, is when he shits on his audience, is when he shits on people who he thinks are below him. And this is common for like narcissists and celebrities and people who got riches and fame. They think they're better than other people. I think that Mike O'Hearn thinks he's better than other people, deep down. And that's kind of what grinds my gears, and that's kind of what pisses me off. It's like, dude, you got lucky genetics, you were born good looking, cool, you had the discipline to go to the gym, great. But people have discipline to go to their jobs. People wake up every day and they work a 9 to 5. You wake up every day and you go to the gym for 3 hours. And then you go home and you work and work and work. I get it, but it's not the same thing as somebody who's grinding at some blue-collar job. Those guys are working harder than you, I believe. I believe a 9 to 5 is harder than being a fake natty bodybuilder, for the shekels. I believe that. So let's not act like you're better than people. And your audience and the people who gave you all that money, they're your donors. They're people. The reason you have that nice house and that nice little family that you can afford is because of those people. So don't shit on them, right? You're not better than them. They help you. You're lucky to have fans. Most people don't. You're lucky to have people who give them money for being fake. Most people don't, right? Be a little more humble. I hate when he shits on people. When he calls people stupid, he calls people names. Oh, you're an idiot because you don't agree with my type of style of training and all this shit. Come on, man. Be better than that. You're almost 60. You got a kid. It's time to start being a little bit more moral. That's what I think. It's time to start being a little more honest, a little more real. You're not richer than everybody else in any kind of moral sense. Let's put it that way. You might have more shekels than they do, but you're not richer than anybody else in a moral sense. All right? That's my 2 cents. Like I said, he's a double-edged sword. You like him, but at the same time, there's things that he does that are just so cringy. It's like, and then at the end of the day, he might be like, oh, well, you're following me. You're watching me. Ha, ha, ha. It's like, yeah, you're interesting, dude. Cool. You're an interesting guy. You're good looking. You got some interesting advice. There's things that draw people to you, man. Cool. Good for you. But it doesn't mean you're like the most badass guy that you walk around acting like you're the most alpha. You're cringy. It's weird. It's like watching a narcissist. For real. It's like, we can see you, dude. We can see your uppity behavior and you got your nose in the air down to people. It's like, that's not cool, man. You can be better than that at your age. Anyway, that's all I got to say about that. Appreciate you listening. Peace.